If you're a mood reader, this video is for you. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. Today, I'm going to be sharing my romance/Valentine's Day book recommendations for whatever mood you are in this Valentine's Day. We're going to move through these rather quickly, so buckle up. First, if you are in the mood for a romance book that is not going to let you down, that is guaranteed to be a banger, anything by Elsie Silver, but if you haven't read Flawless, start with Flawless. This is available on Kindle Unlimited. This one specifically is a Grumpy Sunshine, Forbidden Love. This book is about a professional bull rider who gets himself into a little bit of trouble in the PR realm of things, and his manager sends his daughter. The manager's daughter is sent to the bull rider to keep him in check for the rest of his season and basically to be his babysitter. Well, things take a turn, as you can imagine. Also, the plot twist in this one is crazy. I've given nearly every single one of her romance novels 5 stars, so you can't go wrong with Elsie Silver. Next, if you're looking for a romance with a little bit of magic, not a ton of magic, but romance, but not fully a fantasy, I would recommend The 7-Year Slip. That's a very specific mood. If you're in that mood, let me know, because that's very specific. However, this is about a magical apartment that goes back in time 7 years. So you don't know when the apartment's going to go back in time, but when it does, you just kind of have to, see what's going on. Basically, our main character goes back in time in the apartment and meets someone in the past. Very good. Loved it. Fast-paced. A good time. If you are looking to just fully read a rom-com, you want one that is funny, a little silly goofy, but still romance, I would recommend It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. When the author wrote this book, she said she was inspired by Schitt's Creek. So if you like Schitt's Creek, definitely you'll like this one. It's about a Hollywood it girl that's cut off from her family and her money, and she's forced to go into a small town. She inherits a bar, I believe, where her family used to own, and she's forced to go live there and try to save the bar, I guess. She meets a grumpy guy who is there to help her. Next, if you are in the mood for adventure and romance and some fantasy, I would recommend Guild by Raven Kennedy. This is a romantasy series. This is the first book. I loved this series. It is a King Midas retelling. It's so good. The character development in this book is crazy. Very good. And spicy. If you're in the mood for something a little more cozy, a little more comforting, slow pace, kind of gives the vibes of Gilmore Girls, definitely pick up The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. This is quite literally Gilmore Girls. 1000%. It's just switch Luke and Lorelai. It's this book. It's slow, not fast-paced by any means, but it's just cute and comforting. Just because it's The Pumpkin Spice Cafe does not mean you have to read it in the fall. Honestly, read it anytime. If you are in the mood for something a little dark, a little angsty, a little dark romance, I would recommend Hooked by Emily McIntyre, especially if you are just trying to dip your toes into dark romance. This could be a good way to start. This is a Peter Pan retelling, so Hook, Peter, Wendy. This is a wild ride. Definitely spicy. Keep that in mind. It is what it is. If you are in the mood to escape reality and spend some time in a magical world with a romance and dragons, read Fourth Wing. If you haven't read Fourth Wing and you're watching this video, what are you doing? Read Fourth Wing. If you are in the mood for a forbidden love story, definitely read Twisted Games. This is a princess and bodyguard forbidden love. Really, really good. Highly recommend. If you're in the mood for a slow burn, and let's be real, who's not in the mood for a slow burn, and you haven't read Book Lovers by Emily Henry, highly, highly recommend. This is a kind of small town, rivals to lovers situation, but very slow burn. If you are one of the girlies that's in the mood for just some straight spice, that's all you want. You just want some spice. I would recommend Praise by Sarah Kate. This is a first book in the Salacious Players Club series. I'm not telling you this, but I'm telling you this. They're all good. Read them all. If you are in the mood, if you just read them all. That's all I'm going to say about that one. If you're in the mood for a little second chance love, a little second chance romance, I would highly recommend Meet Me at the Lake. This is a dual perspective, well, not perspective, like dual timeline. We see them when they're young, and then we see them 7 years, maybe 9 years later, and this one was really good. It rips my heart out. I loved it. If you are in the mood for an enemies to lovers / rivals to lovers, I would recommend Beach Read by Emily Henry. Very good. This is about two rival authors that end up as neighbors during the summer. It's fun. If you are in the mood for a friends to lovers, which is personally not my cup of tea, I was looking at my shelf. I don't have a lot of recommendations for this one. The only one that I could think of that I would recommend is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which is also my least favorite Emily Henry. But if you are looking for a friends to lovers, you'd love this one. You'd eat this one up. My camera died. Where were we? If you're in the mood for a sweeping love story set in a different world, different era, I would highly recommend Divine Rivals. I love this one. This follows a writer who is connected and sends letters via a magical typewriter. So she's connected to somebody via that, and she ends up going off to war to report for the war. A lot happens, but this one is so good. This one is so good. I highly, highly recommend. Very good, very fun. If you are in the mood for a small town little romance novel that'll make you kick your feet and giggle and just have a tight-knit community who everyone's gossiping and you can't trust the old lady down the street to not tell your secrets, I would highly recommend Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This is technically the second book in the series. I think it's the When in Rome series. But these are interconnected standalones, so you don't need to read that one before this one, but that one's good too. I recommend that one. But this one specifically gives the small town vibes to a T. This one is about the sister of the male main character in the first book who owns a flower shop, and she ends up fake dating with the bodyguard from When in Rome. So fun, so good. If you are in the mood for an empowering love story where two unexpected characters fall in love and there's a lot of growth between both characters, I would recommend The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This is not what you would expect, but it's another fake dating situation where the female main character, Stella, feels like she just needs to gain experience with dating in order to then herself be comfortable with dating. This one's good. Makes you believe in love. And finally, my last recommendation is for the girlies who really enjoyed Ice Planet Barbarians and maybe isn't willing to admit that to many people, but secretly you love it. This is a spicy sci-fi recommendation. I read this recently. It is literally, the genre is spicy sci-fi. That is what it is. But it is Bad Guy by Ruby Dixon. I'll put the cover right here. I don't have a physical copy. I read this on Kindle Unlimited. It's a ride for sure. Check it out. But that is it for my mood reader romance Valentine's Day book recommendations. Let me know, what is your Valentine's Day reading mood? I think I'm gonna go for an It Won't Let Me Down romance, aka I'm gonna read another Elsie Silver book on Valentine's Day. That, I think, is the vibe. But let me know what your vibe is down below. Also, if you made it this far, make sure to subscribe. And I have my Instagram, Goodreads, TikTok, all linked down below. I also have my Patreon link down below if you are interested in getting any of my videos early access. I think that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.